virtually. Masso's gonna go for yet another lap. He's not happy with P2. And he improves to pole position. Pole position for Masso with a 102.1. He's improved yet again. Incredible stuff here in Formula 2. Jack Plays now is going to go for another lap. He wants to improve. He needs to prove himself here. And he improves one position. Clover goes past and it's not enough. Masso. Baroni goes past and it's P4. Masso has pole position here in Formula 2 at Melbourne. Masso will take the first pole position of the season. An incredible qualifying session. Very close here. As we get ready now to start the Australian Grand Prix. Round 1. 5 red lights and away we go. Masso gets a good start. Baroni gets a rapid start as he's alongside Christos here. Alfie, Riley right next to each other. Jack Plays and Spud. We've got about 6-8 cars going too wide. Clover backs out of it. Alfie and Riley, they're going to be banging wheels. Alfie goes off the track and Alfie goes off the track into the runoff area. He's going to rejoin alongside Fronda. Good for Fronda, leaving the space there for the driver alongside him. Jack Plays. Malachi's going to be on the inside. Masso's got a rapid launch here now. He has got an incredible launch and he could capitalize off this as Spud gets a bumper glitch. 3 wide now as Spud backs off. Spud falls off. Jack Plays. They're crashing a lot. 3 wide into this DRS zone here. DRS will not be enabled for this first lap of racing. The back of the grid here, Spud is going to get ahead. It is looking like early chaos here in Melbourne, but they're seeming to handle it. And Clover goes around, and Lucas goes off the track. Alfie Dewar in the back. It could have been a VSC, but the drivers have done well to get themselves together. So Masson's got in a good... The top 3 got in away nicely. Riley keeps P4 from Spud. DRS enabled now. The 4 drivers in the back now. We've got some good racing and Barone on the inside of Christos. Will Christos lead the race? He does. But Christos will be the inside here. Masso has kept his position. Masso here now into the first corner. Masso will leave the space open. Will Masso leave it open for Christos? It does not look like it. So the order is currently Barone P1, Masso P2. Masso will get DRS into this straight now, but Barone has the inside, which means Masso is going to be on the inside and Barone goes into the wall. Barone goes off the track. They're bagging wheels. Barone cleaves it on the track. Masso gets ahead. Racing. And the green flag is going to go out. Because of Christos' lag, Masso and Barone have potentially pulled out of his DRS. No drivers the track limits penalty as of yet. This could be big for Masso and Barone here because they could see themselves score some big early season points. And that is always what you want at the start of a season. That you want to get some good pace. You want to be consistent. You want to start the season on a high note. Has Christos seems to have gotten in the DRS now. Has Fronda gotten in the DRS as well? So the 2 Campos drivers here, P3 and P4. So they, as it stands, will lead the Constructors' Championship after this race. And I believe he is trying to look for that advantage in the pit stop. A good question has come up here now for the Campos drivers, Christos and Fronda, on will they double stack? Or will they manage their pit stops? This should be an interesting as they're the only 2 teammates within close proximity. The rest of the grid fairly separated. And Fronda gets pushed off slightly. Nothing major though. Masso chooses to keep track position. It should be an interesting what happens with the pit stops here. Because these Campos drivers will need to decide who is going to be going for the first pit stop or the second one to lead. That he's built on quite nicely. Fronda has 4 track limits and Fronda goes off the track and Fronda is into the barrier. That will be a VSC to get the cars together. So that incident will be looked at by the stewards after the race to see potentially had Fronda's teammate push him off. When will they pit is the question. Barone pits and Alfie pits. So they choose to pit now. Riley in P3, a bit behind. So he's not going to have that same advantage. He will pit. So these 3 will go into their pits now. Masso and Christos alongside each other. They will be DRS training as well. So perhaps Barone and Mero did not see this through, that Masso and Christos will come together with each other. Alfie now approaching the end of the pit lane. Has Alfie given... So Barone's fallen behind a lot. What has happened here in the pit lane? Alfie and Fronda and Masso will lead the race. Massa will come out ahead now, ahead of Christos and Mero. Alfie could potentially see a position here if Massa goes too wide, if Alfie sends it down the inside. Don't think he will. Massa pretty much on the inside going to the DRS zone here. He was alongside Christos, he won't be now. This could change the intent of this race, but he's going to go on the inside. This could be an incredible race for Massa here. No track limits for Christos, driving a much better race than what happened to him in Abu Dhabi. Will Alfie go for the move here? They're going to go too wide. We've got about 7 laps of racing after this. Massa seemed to be incredibly comfortable around Melbourne. He was P1 in practice, P1 in qualifying, and he's currently leading the race with the most laps led. It could be an incredibly dominant win here in Formula 2 for Massa. A great performance from him. Seems to have really found his rhythm here. So Alfie will be on the inside, but I believe Massa... So Massa's got a DRS here, interestingly, but he's going to be on the outside. It's hard to make a move here in this area of the track. He's not completely clear, but he's going to be on the inside heading into this corner. Will he see... So he finds himself ahead of Alfie. Alfie will be on the inside. So Alfie is going to get DRS and find himself ahead of Massa. What does this mean for Christos' race? Because Christos has had to patiently wait in P3 here. And the question now is, as you get into the later laps of the races now, coming around the end, but when we come to that mark of 2 to 3 laps left, potentially the last lap, could we see Christos getting incredibly aggressive? Too wide here, Alfie and Massa. Will Christos potentially go for an aggressive move to see himself into a P1 or P2 position? Because as it stands, he's just going to be finding himself in P3, and P3 is not a bad position by any means. It's nothing to be disappointed about. He qualified P4, he will be up a position, but of course P1 and P2 is of course much better. P1 is the goal where everyone wants to be at. It's a bit disappointing that they still haven't caught up these guys. We've got 3 laps of racing now, and Christos has made that move. So we were just talking about that, where would Christos potentially make that move to fight for P1 and P2, and he's in that position now. Alfie virtually in P3 now, unless he makes a move, and he's going to be on the inside of Christos here. Will Christos leave the space? They're going to go too wide here. Potential collision, could see both of them fall out the running late into this race for P1. And Alfie! So Alfie is going to go off the track a bit here slightly. Driver, but the 2 Campos drivers haven't done a very good job of getting both cars in high points. Christos in position to win the race now, potentially. We're going to have 2 laps of racing after this. And Mero flips! And there is going to be a VSC here. So Alfie, Mero, he will be ahead of Fronda. This is an incredible change because these 2 now, it's going to be a straight duel for the lead here in Australia. The VSC ending now. So Massa leads. Christos goes off the track. They're too wide now. Who's going to get DRS into here? I'm not quite sure. But it looks like Massa has DRS somehow. And he's going to get potentially a big enough gap now to bring this home. Unless Christos though right on his bumper. These 2 absolute gladiators for the lead of the race here. Who is going to win in Melbourne? What we're going to do here. He's defending the inside. He does not want to let it through. But this could be costly because he's going to let Christos come dangerously close here. Christos potentially ahead. Christos goes off the track and Christos is going to be on the inside. Christos is going to get DRS here. And Christos leads. Christos takes the lead of the race. Massa is going to be right here. But Massa might be closer. Oh! Massa gets a bumper glitch. Has Christos potentially brought it home here? Or is Massa close enough to bring it home with DRS? It's going to be a photo finisher in Australia. Who is going to cross the line first? And Christos wins the Australian Grand Prix.